Welcome back to this week, you guys. This is Sickening the Podcast. My name is Anaya, your host, and thank you again so much for tuning in. This week, I have a very, very special guest with me. I am here with Maggie. On Instagram, she's at Mama for a Cause. She's very Instagram famous, actually, so I'm very excited and very honored to have her on. Maggie, if you'd like to introduce yourself really quick.
Yeah, hi guys. I'm Maggie, Mama for a Cause on Instagram, and my account is mostly childhood cancer based.
Yeah, I know you do a ton of advocacy and support online, and that's something I admire so much. I mean, I see you online all the time, and you always do and advocate for amazing things. And I mean, girl, you're just amazing. Stop.
Oh,
Everything
thank
you
you.
put on is so informative and informational. I can't even put together my anatomy assignment that well. It's not even funny. Um, but yeah, so tonight I wanted to ask about Maggie, your son, Jaxson. I know he and I both, similarly, we both had osteosarcoma. And I wanted to ask if you could tell your son's story for us today.
Yes. At the end of third grade in the summer, around June, he started limping. Just like randomly one morning, he was limping around the house, and I was like, "What's going on?" And he just told me that his leg hurt. But he was a karate kid, so we thought okay, maybe sparring, he injured it. And then it happened a second week in a row. And at that point, I creepily knew that it was cancer. So I took him into his doctor. His doctor was out of town. So I got the nurse practitioner who, hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, that was very weird.
Okay. No, you're okay.
No,
That's
so.
okay. So we went and got the x-ray, and they saw something odd on the x-ray. Then they sent us to Primary Children's here in Utah, which is our big children's hospital. And we got down there, and he was diagnosed within 6 hours, which I think we kind of knew where it was heading with the questions they were asking, like weight loss, nosebleeds, things like that. And that was when he was 9. And so Jaxson battled for 22 months. He got rotation plasty to take the initial tumor out. And when we found it, it was actually localized. So he had something had spread. But after his rotation plasty, he had some nodules in his chest. And then essentially that's what killed him. We never could get the lung cancer to go into full remission. And that's how he died.
And I'm sorry for your loss again, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. When I see Jaxson online, he just seems so full of life, he seems like one of those kids on TV that you see that are just those, I don't know how you describe it, the kids on those sitcoms who are the funny character that are always making jokes and running around, that kind of thing. So
yeah, he was wild.
You can see it just from a couple pictures. I mean, yeah. I used to be a karate kid too before I got diagnosed, so I guess we have that too in common. That's why my mom, she didn't know, she thought it was because of that too. It was because I played volleyball and I did karate and I swam before I got diagnosed. So I hear that a lot, similarity between kids. Do you hear that too?
Yeah, they think it's a sports injury, right? Or maybe even growing pains.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when it's in the legs, I think, is you're on your legs all day. You think, okay, this is normal. This is okay.
Of course, yeah. Do you want to tell me what your son was like as a person, outside of cancer, how he was? I was interested in hearing about that too.
Yeah, he was wild. He was annoying sometimes, but he was so wild, in a good way. Like you said, he was full of life. And so after a while, hearing squeals all day, you're like, oh my gosh, calm down. But he was just always happy, always happy. He'd wake up at 7 in the morning, and first things first, he's squealing. He's doing something funny. He had this crazy laugh. I think I posted a few videos of his really loud a contagious laugh. And that's basically what he was like. And he had no interest in sports. So we were like a baseball family. He didn't give a crap about baseball, not even a little bit. He played for 2 seasons, and his highlight of that was like getting the treat at the end. He did not care for sports. He only liked karate. He loved Legos, and he was a voice actor. He was going to be a voice actor, is what he wanted to do when he would grow up. So he knew how to do all the accents. I never recorded him because I was like, hey, I might be racist. We can't really do that one. But he was so good at accents. He loved doing that. He wanted to make movies.
That's so interesting. I know some people who like can like mix up their voice to sound higher pitch and lower tone, but that is like one of the coolest like unique kind of skills you could ever have. Damn. And voice acting is like going up the charts lately. Like I feel like a lot of people like a lot of influencers are turning into voice actors now. Yeah.
Yeah. And he had like, so like he loved like Owl House and shows like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he wanted to do something like that, you know?
Oh,
Yeah,
really
and he
cool.
loved creepy things. Like he loved like FNAF, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's, and Minecraft. He was a Minecraft builder. His prosthetic leg was Minecraft, so.
Oh, no way. That's so cool. Aww.
Yeah, so he loved that kind of stuff. And he was autistic, so like a lot of his funny things are just him being him. Like he's just like super blunt, and I had to always reel it in. Like, okay, we can't say that to people. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I feel like I'm always being told like I can't say that kind of stuff. Like my mom, if we're in public and like I'll say something or I'm pointing at somebody, like she'll tell me not to, and like I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah. What were some of your favorite memories of him when he was in third grade or younger than that before he got diagnosed?
Oh man, there's so many of them. Let me think.
Something that like comes up to your mind. It doesn't have to be like entirely number one, but when somebody like starts to mention Jaxson recently, like what is a moment that you'll think of him now?
So I don't know. We talked about this one today, but when he was in third grade, he was giving a presentation on himself, and he went up there and he told his teacher and classmates, "I'm half Mexican and half weird." And I was like, "No, you're half white, not weird. Like half white, half Mexican." And like,
oh my gosh,
just things like that. He was just hilarious. One time he dropped an F-bomb in second grade at a kid. He called them like a mother effer, and I mean it was warranted with the situation. But his teacher was like, "Where does he learn language like that?" And my oldest son looked at me, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get caught," because to me, I have a potty mouth. And Jaxson was like, "My friend so and so taught me," and I was like, "Yeah, his friend so and so taught him," but it was really me, and he was just out there, he's so hilarious all of the time. There's lots of good memories with him. He's a cute kid.
I'm like trying to teach my little brother to like not say slur words or not say swear words like out in public too often because he'll say them in our house and he'll say them with me. But he's also like turning 13, so I understand like he's like feels more comfortable. He's like, oh well, I can say whatever I want now, but you can't. You need to chill out a little bit. It's also like maybe a guy thing too. Like they feel a bit more comfortable to like say a bit more, I guess. Switching gears a little bit, I want to talk about your family's perspective about his diagnosis with osteosarcoma. Because families' experiences are entirely valid and like also incredibly important that go along with like the kid. So I wanted to ask how your family first learned about the diagnosis, like the magnitude of what osteosarcoma is. Because I remember when I was first diagnosed, I didn't really know what it meant. Like, nobody else really knew what it was besides it just being bone cancer. So, do you want to share what that experience was like for your family?
Yeah, so we have a local foundation here called Nixon Strong. And when Nixon was going through his cancer, we followed his story. So, and like we do like the baseball tournament. So, like, actually, like my immediate family knew when we got the diagnosis, like my husband and my two older kids knew like what kind of cancer it was, just because for like, 6 years we followed along. Well, not 6 years, Dixon died too, but like for 6 years we participated in the Nixon Strong tournament, so they knew what it was, which maybe made it scarier for them. I want to say, like, just like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have like this, like, oh, a child has cancer, but like chemo's gonna fix it. Like this can fix it, right? And I want to say that like my parents and my side of the family was like that. They were like, okay, um, more hopeful maybe. Like he has osteosarcoma. It's a bone cancer, but like there's chemo. He can do treatment. I think my husband's parents were trying to be positive too, but maybe they understood more of like the statistics are just 5-year statistics, right? Like, and after that, if you look at like 10-year, it's not so great. So yeah, I think, I don't know. I think it was, and my family is Mexican from Mexico. And so I don't think that all of us were super versed. I mean, other than me, like on what type of cancer it was. And that made it to where they had higher expectations of what was going to happen, possibly. But I feel like my kids, they understood that we were in for like something long and not great.
Yeah, I think it took our family like a little bit to like really understand like what osteosarcoma was, and how like when it came back for me, they were like a bit confused, like, oh, why did it come back? Because it was like fine, but then there's also repercussions, like there's like stuff that happens after, like it's not 100%, like you said with the statistics. I totally understand you.
Yeah.
I wanted to also ask about the process, like during chemotherapy and then after when Jaxson died. How, what, I mean, because grief is like an entire process. There's no stop point to grief. And in my last episode, I interviewed one of my friends. Her name's Keely, and her older sister Allie died with osteosarcoma in 2023. And she talked about how grief is an ongoing process and there's no endpoint, etc. The 5 stages of grief. And I wanted to ask you and what your like ongoing journey is with grief, and how your family sort of copes through the tougher moments, where some like days where it feels a bit more heavier than some other days.
So my older son Ryder was really close to Jax, like very, very close. He does therapy. He's been doing therapy quite a bit, and we keep him super busy with cheer, And I just think that like him working out all of the time and then having a therapist help him through it it's probably easier for him to talk to a therapist than to me, because he probably feels like he's gonna make me cry too, right? So I think therapy for him is super, like it's just been really important. My husband, I don't know. I think him and I don't really have like a healthy way of coping. Other than like trying to help other families. We just drink, honestly. And that's the reality of it. Like we go through phases where it's just like unbearable. And I think that for Sophie, I don't really know that she gets it yet. Like she's 9. I know she gets it. Like I know she gets he's gone and she misses him, and like she still texts him and stuff like that. But like I don't know if she realizes like the full scope of like it's forever. So eventually I'm sure she'll need therapy too. My stepson, he just plays baseball, so they stay active. But there are days where you can just tell people are off. Ryder will just have a day where he's just like crying, or angry. I think a lot of us are angry in this house. So.
Yeah. Do you think it's easier to feel like angry versus sad? Is that a thing that can happen?
I feel like they go hand in hand, almost like maybe it starts out as you're super sad and you start thinking about like the process you went through, or like whatever memory brought him back into your mind. Like it's every day and it's multiple times a day. And then maybe you just get triggered by it. Like, he should be here. Like, this is not fair. Stuff like that.
Yeah. nothing about cancer is like really fair. Yeah. Ugh. Don't make me cry now. Okay. And then what's so, I guess like not, I guess unique about this episode per se is that you're a mom. And I've only interviewed like kids so far, like people my age or people younger than me or a little bit older than me. And I'm not very experienced in your perspective since you're a mom and I'm 16 years old. So I wanted to ask what if you think grief for you because you're Jaxson's mom, do you feel like it's different versus Jaxson's dad and his brothers and his sister? I mean, obviously I would think it would be different cuz I feel like moms have like this special kind of connection with their kids. Like it's like
Yeah.
completely different. Like it's something like I personally believe that like God himself, like he wrote it down, like this is how special it's supposed to be and it's gonna be. So do you
Yeah,
think
I
it's different?
think it's different for sure in the sense that like the kind of bond that you have with them is different, right? Like he was so close to his dad because that was his caregiver, and like they were very much alike. So I know that Corey. I think Corey feels it like on a maternal level, honestly, because it's not like your regular dad. It's like a dad who like quit his job and was with him and was taking care of him all the time. But then with me and Jaxson, he was, I don't have favorites, but he was like, we had a bond, like we were close. Like he, okay, he was like up there in my favorites, of children, and including my fur babies. But yeah, and he knew it. Like he knew we had this special bond. Like he's always been like I made him nap with me till he was like 6 because we just like would cuddle, and like he just knew it. Like so I feel like maybe like it really broke me, but I think Corey feels the same. And then with Ryder, I mean, that was his best friend, like best friend, like when Jaxson went on hospice, Ryder went on homeschool to be with him. I don't know. I don't know that I felt it more. I think I just felt it different.
Yeah, that's my question. Like, how differently you felt it? Because I know, like, I could never like imagine somebody feeling more grief than someone else in a family. Like, everyone's grief is shaped differently. It's not like an amount. I would think personally. That's how I would imagine it. Like, I know you're the expert in this situation, so you go ahead.
No, I think you're right. Like, there's not really like oh my sadness one ups yours, but I do think I feel it maybe a little differently just because like I carried him, like like I was pregnant with him, but not necessarily deeper than they do. I think that they, like, for example, like I know Ryder feels it on a different level with like, oh, he's not going to be at my wedding. He can't be my best man. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. But for me, it's like, well, I'm never going to see him grow up and never going to see grandkids or anything like that. So it's still just deep, just different. I think the loss of a parent is different than the loss of but man, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like a built-in best friend that you've had your whole life, So yeah, I think that grief all across the board just sucks, but it's just different for each person,
Yeah, for sure. One more question that was really brought up that I felt like when I was like brainstorming what to think, my mom, this was like an episode topic that like she was actually really interested in. Like she really wanted to hear from your perspective too. And I think it's like the first time she ever felt like really interested in it. So I was like, okay, mom, like tell me what do you think? Like what types of questions should I be asking? So one of the main questions she wanted to ask too was, what do you wish more people understood about a parent's grief about losing a child, or a parent going through the process of seeing their child go through, like you said, a rotation plasty, different kinds of surgeries, chemotherapy, the diagnosis, all of it, any of it?
Ooh, I guess this would just go for terminal, right? Terminal kids. But I think there comes a point where I have to put aside like I wanted to have him have this surgery to like take his chest wall out, right? But like the reality of it was there was still other cancer in his lungs and in his body. So like doing that is just gonna maybe it'll prolong his life, but it's not gonna cure him. And accepting that was hard because then I have to like stop being selfish to try and keep him alive. Do you get what I'm saying? Because he's just in pain.
He's still gonna be.
Yeah, he's just in pain. And at some point, you feel like you're letting them down because you're like, okay, I have to accept that he's going to die no matter what. But then if I continue to push this chemo on him, am I really a good mom? Because I'm doing it for me, not for him. So I'm trying to keep him alive because I can't live without him, but he's in pain. So that's the hardest. Yeah.
I think you're a good mom, though. Everything that you've done, that's all you could have done. Like, there's nothing more you could have done. The life you gave him, like, all he knew was being happy with his family and his friends and sports. So I think that's the greatest thing you could have ever gave him. You're an amazing mom. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
This is a lot. Like, we can stop at any time you'd like.
You're okay. I think that was probably the biggest decision. Like we got home from Hawaii from a trip, and he'd been doing like another chemo that like wasn't going to cure him, but we were hoping would like. I mean, you're always hoping that this might be the one for him, right? Because there's always like weird cases where something does work that didn't work for anybody else, but it was just killing him faster. He was just miserable, and so to make the decision with him and his dad, like, okay, we're gonna stop, and just him also like understanding like, okay, and I was like, we're gonna do the holistic stuff and hopefully it helps get rid of it, but it probably won't, and we're just gonna, our goal is to have the best day ever every day and no pain. And he it took him a little bit, but we made that decision, and I think that was the hardest one, like just letting it go. Yeah.
I know your community also. I'll give you a minute. I'm sorry. Keep talking.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
I know your community, like from your Instagram, because I know you're active with advocacy and everything. I know your community has played a big part in your journey and with Jaxson's life. Were there some parts of what your community has done that like really like continue to like shine that light? Like, oh, like this mattered a lot to my community. My community is still standing behind me. Stuff like that.
Well, like in real life, right? Yeah. Not just Instagram, but like our community in real life.
Your neighborhood, school, whatever.
Yeah, like the school that he went to, I worked for. And so they did so much for us throughout the time that he had cancer. Like they did fundraiser for us. They had cancer foundations come to like assemblies. They would do, and they still do, like the childhood cancer September assembly for him. They made a lot of accommodations for him. And so now that he's gone, they continue to, like, we still have the assembly coming up. I think it's next week. And the cheerleaders have Jaxson's strong things. So like, there's still, he hasn't been forgotten. Like it's still, he's everywhere still, around here at least. So, but also my Instagram followers, I mean, I have some pretty solid Jaxson lovers that didn't leave when he died, and they're like always like egging, or not egging me, but like they're like hyping me up when I'm trying to do like my homework and I'm like procrastinating. I'm like, oh, I want to quit. They're just there, and it's nice. Like they don't know me in real life, but it's almost like a real friend because they followed you through like the worst parts of your life, and rather than criticize you for things, which you could easily do, because I mean, everybody's journey is different, right? Somebody could see like that I shared him, I don't know, with like oxygen and be like, oh, you're exploiting him. But like, really, it's like, this is what's happening, whether it's on the internet or not. All of our kids are going through this, and it's a lot. It's a lot more common than you think. And we really should be pushing for more funding, right? But instead of criticizing me for sharing, they just supported me. And that's been nice. to still have that support, and that they like love seeing his old stuff, like his old videos, like him at 2 years old or him at 3 years old. You know what I mean? Like they still love it.
Yeah, I see that online all the time. I love looking at babies.
And he was a cute one. He was a cute little baby.
He was a very, very. You made a very cute baby. I'll be so honest.
Thank you.
He was very, very adorable. But yeah, I think that age is like the age like I feel like I can handle. Like I can like babysit that kind of age. Like I'll get freaked out by a newborn. Like you will not catch me holding a newborn. Like I'll never hold somebody else's baby like that. Like I'll be too scared of dropping it or like doing something to the kid. I don't know, like
holding the neck right. Like yeah, I get that. It's scary.
You have to like hold their neck. Their neck is like a noodle. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
I'm like taking your child development class, so I'm like dreading our newborn unit right now.
Yeah, they're yeah, you have to be careful with how you hold them, everything about them, and guess what they're crying about too, because you don't know. They can't tell you.
Anything. They're so scary. Shifting back a little bit, back to I mean your online presence, your advocacy. What really inspired you to start sharing your journey, your Jaxson's journey online? Because I mean, personally, like I was very hesitant about like even like showing my pictures without hair, stuff like that online. So I think anytime anyone really shares like the most vulnerable parts of themselves, their families, it's frankly it's just cool. Like you're literally just helping out a ton of people without really knowing. Like, I mean, you're showing people that they're not really alone in this situation. And I think, because I know a lot of moms are on Instagram too. So, I mean, I know definitely that there's moms out there who see you as a person that they can relate to. So, was there something that inspired you or you felt compelled to share your story and your son's online?
Well, so when we first started the journey, I want to say maybe like the first 4 months, I was private. Like it was just my regular family and friends. But then we started noticing like the lack of treatment, and also like, gosh, like things are so scary for him. Like, why do I have to have my leg amputated? Why can't we get something different going on, right? Like, why do other little kids are doing this too? And then for him, he hated getting access. Oh my gosh, the first 4 months. Actually, he hated it till the end. He hated being accessed. Like the little, well, you know, because you've lived this, but like it's like a push pin. Like that is so scary to have that thing.
Like that's crazy.
And even with the Emla cream, he hated it. And so then he was like, it started with us making a video trying to calm him, and it was like, hey, let's show people how we get access, and you can walk us through it. And he did it, and he was calm. And then after that, he wanted to show like the things he was going through and explain updates of like what he was going to do just for other kids. He was like, well, because there was someone that reached out with like a 6-year-old that was about to, they were trying to decide if they were going to do a rotation plasty. So we were trying to help him have like a voice in this disease, right? And like help others. And even till the end, I mean, when we started doing radiation in January, we knew he was dying, and like it was just for pain, right? And he still signed, like he has to consent to like be followed and for studies, and he still signed the study for Huntsman Institute to be able to use all of his records and all of his like everything they did to him, like all of his treatment, to try and make better treatments for future kids. He signed that, like he did all of it, knowing he was dying. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually really cool about him. So he wanted to help. He did, like he even, I mean, once he knew he was going to die, he was like, this is crap. Like, this is not how it's supposed to be. Like, I did everything I was supposed to. I did everything the doctor told me to, and it didn't work. So we need better things for kids so that someone else doesn't die. And then we opened our account to public, and it just started picking up because he's a funny kid. He's cute to follow and everything. And yeah, I think that's how we started. Like, it's basically him that wanted to start it.
Yeah. That's so cool. I mean, like, I was a bit hesitant to do, like, research stuff, so I unfortunately didn't do a bunch. But I think I mean, you said he was around third grade to fourth grade age during therapy, right? So I mean, yeah, being so young and like knowing that he has a voice, knowing he's providing for the future of medicine. That's one of the coolest things like anyone could ever do. Like, and he did that at his age, where some people they lived up to their 70s and they can't say that they advanced to medicine. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. The more I'm just hearing about Jaxson, I can just tell like he was a really cool person. Like, damn, that was one
Yeah,
of
he was
the
one of a kind.
cool third graders. I did some research online to really see what moms want to hear or moms are questioning online or asking online when their kids are going through cancer, chemotherapy, surgeries, or terminal illnesses. And one main question that came up was how do you let your child know that there isn't any more treatment options or where they have to go into hospice if you're comfortable sharing?
Yeah, so with Jackson, his lung collapsed on New Year's, and we were into radiation, and like they have to scan him um, to see where they're going to radiate, and they saw his lung was full of fluid, right? So we went to the hospital, and we were there. I want to say we were there for like a week straight because they had to drain his lung and everything. But his doctor at that point told us, like, okay, like I know that I've told you before that he's probably not going to be curable, but at this point, it's like weeks to months. Like we have a timeline of like how long he's going to live. So I had to tell him with his dad. We were like, okay, so like the chemo's not working, and there's really not much else we can do. And he's like, there's no more chemos. So he had the first time and the second time he heard it, he did freak out. He panicked. He was having a panic attack, but he was 11, and we had promised him like he was always going to know everything, right? And so I told him like, yeah, like we could try another chemo, but it's probably not going to work. And he was like, well, there's still a chance, right? And like, I can't tell him there's no chance because like I see that he's still panicking, and I'm like, well, yeah, there's like a 5% chance, but I'm giving him a number that's like realistic. Like it's there's hardly a chance. So he heard it, and he heard it again from his oncologist at a clinic visit, and he was panicking. And we were like, okay, but you're not dying right now. Like it's going to happen. Like that, you're going to die from cancer, but like it's not right now. And then when he started seeing the hospice nurse, he was in pain. So like we were like, okay, like we know that you're going to die from cancer, but what we want is for you to not be in any pain or be scared at all. And so I think that when he started realizing like, oh, they're just going to help me, like he started accepting it. It took him a while, but he started accepting it to the point that like he was fighting with Ryder one time, and he was like, I'm not even going to go to your wedding. And then like he stopped, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm not going to be at your wedding. Like, and so he started to like process it. I think not lying to him helped him process it. And not every, I guess it depends on the age. I probably wouldn't have told him if he was like 6. I would have just been like, hey, and let him just go in his sleep, because Jaxson went in his sleep and he wasn't scared. So if I had known that he was going to die like that, maybe I wouldn't have told him. But we chose to tell him, and it seemed like it was the best choice for him. Because after a while, I don't think he was scared at the end. He just was sad that like he was going to be gone. Yeah. Yeah.
And I could only imagine that was rough for you, right? Because no mom wants to do that. Like
Yeah.
you don't prepare for that. There's no handbook for that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I didn't want like child life to be the one to tell him, because like it felt like it was like it would be like I would be copy like it's a cop out, like to try to have somebody else do it. Like it's my job to keep him calm and feeling safe, right? So
I think you
I'm
did an
sorry.
amazing job. No, you take your time. I'm sorry. No, that's not me. But I think you did an amazing job, considering the
Thank
fact that like one he wasn't in pain when he went, and he went peacefully in the sleep. That means he was relaxed and he was subdued and he was in his dreams. Um, that one thing, like is it called? There's some technical word. I'm not gonna dig into my brain to find out. We went to school today. But I think, I mean, I know people who, like, I know that's, like, what Child Life does, too, because I talked to a Child Life a couple episodes ago, too. The one that went to MIB, too, by the way. And that's something that they do, too, but I know that they do encourage parents to be the one to do so. So even, like, without them, like, letting you know, I think that's, I mean, yeah, that's a mom being a mom. There's no other way to describe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the good thing is, like, his dad is very calm and collected. So, like, I would break down like this, but Corey wouldn't. And so, like, he would just calm him and then, like, redirect the conversation once, like, we've had him calm down. Like, what are we, like, just something different, right? Like, because an 11-year-old can only take so much cancer talk, too, right? Before it's, I don't want him to live the last 4 months, like, completely dreading every second of every day. So, yeah, his dad did a lot of that calming.
Yeah, I think that dynamic is kind of like my parents too. My dad was more the calmer, like chiller one. My mom was a bit like, I don't know how to describe my mom actually. My mom was a lot of things. I think you're a bit like my mom too. Like I could feel that through the camera a bit. Yeah, my mom, she's an advocator too. She's very strong. I can feel that with you too. I think my mom would like you. My mom would like you. Like my mom,
I bet I'd like her too.
My mom does follow you too. Like I think she, after a couple episodes I put out, she started like digging out a bunch of people on Instagram, like people who are super famous that she thinks that I could DM and then they'll say yes to me. And one of the people that she told me to was you, and I was like, I mean, I do know. I think I've seen her at MIB. Like I know she has a son, so I think you were one of the like first people I reached out 2 weeks ago that has like a bigger following. So I was a bit nervous, but I think, dude, you're way more than I could have ever imagined. Like I mean, you're so smart with like what you're talking about with like osteo. I think I feel like you're way more smarter than how I am, like talking about chemo. And then your journey, it's like it's nothing I could ever like describe because it's not something that I hear much about. That's why I also wanted to like try to share it more too because I feel like we don't hear a lot from a mom's perspective too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And it's not that I have like I'm not like more educated in it than you, but you lived it, right? So like I was the one doing the research while Jaxson was living it.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like because my experience is like as a parent, but like you actually went through like the struggle. And so I mean, you guys are the strongest, like kids are strong as hell. And you guys going through that is nothing touches it. You know what I mean? And like the fact that like he never complained, hardly ever. Just at the end when he had like a lot of tumors, until I gave him like his medicine or whatever. But like he would take whatever I asked him to. Like you guys are so resilient, and I hate that. I hate that because you shouldn't have to be, but you are. Like it's a lot easier for a kid to go through treatment most of the time than like an adult because adults are just whiny all around. You know what I mean? So don't think that you're not smart in it. You just lived it. You were literally fighting for your life. So
Yeah, thank you
you
so
are
much.
equal in smart.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I definitely do believe, and I'll like say it. I won't say it to my own mom, but I'll think it. But I do think moms, while seeing their children go through it, I think they're this type of like, I don't know what it is on the chessboard. I was gonna make some chess analogy to seem cool, but they're this like silent type of warrior. You know what I mean? Like the castle piece, I guess, because like the castle piece can move like a lot on the chessboard, but you don't really see them coming for your pieces. It's like something I learned from my brother who plays chess. I don't play chess, so people please don't make fun of me in the comments. Because I know my friends will make fun of me for saying that. But, yeah, I mean, my mom, and I'll assume you too, my mom, she never was discouraging in front of me. Like, if she ever, like, felt sad or anything, she'd never show it in front of me. Like, I don't ever recall seeing her, like, upset or anything. I know after, because now I'm older, she would tell me, like, oh, yeah, I would talk to a therapist when you were in chemo, or I'd go in the hall when I felt a little bit more sad. But I don't ever remember seeing her that way. Would you also, not sort of, like, hide, of course, but would you sort of private your own emotions in front of Jaxson?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like we had a couple slip ups there at the end, but we usually just cry on drives, and he's in the back, so we would just put on sunglasses, and keep it very quiet. But yeah, no, we would try and keep that, not just because of Jax, but like the other kids too. You have to keep that strong face going for them, But yeah, we would not hide it. I think we would just compose it until we were alone.
Of course.
Like, he would still be like, "Are you sad?" "Yeah." "Why are you sad?" "Well, because, same reason you're sad." Like we never did lie, but we just tried not to be like the bawling type of crying, like where you're, that was for sure private. Yeah.
And then switching a little bit back to advocacy, because I know that's a big part of your life now, after Jaxson died. So, do you think that your role with advocacy played a big part in your healing? Like, I mean, healing is also a strong word too, so I didn't really know how to phrase this question too, if you understand where I'm coming from. But do you think advocacy really, does it help you continue, or no? Does advocacy play a big role in your life as to your reason to, like, oh, let's keep going, let's keep smiling, let's keep doing whatever?
It helps me be less angry, if that's like what you mean. Like, yes. I feel angry a lot of the time, but then like if I find a trial and then I'll post it and somebody will be like, "Oh, thank you so much, I sent this to so and so." Like, just doing those types of things, like making that kind of change in somebody's life, helps me feel better, like that he didn't die for nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it does help me. Yeah, and I think that's going to be like my biggest motivator, because the grief is unbearable. I can't imagine if I didn't have anything that I was doing positive. Like, I would just be in a hole. I don't know, but this definitely does help.
I wanted to wrap up with a bit of memory to keep it a bit, so nobody has to go to bed feeling a bit sadder. Are there any ways that you keep your son's memory alive in, like, your daily routine? Because I know some of my friends, I know one of my friend whose little brother died with leukemia. She goes out in the morning at like 7 in the morning or something to go on a run, because she and her brother would do that every morning. So I was wondering if there's things that you do in your daily routine, or maybe once a week or once a month, that you do that, like, is for Jaxson or is in Jackson's memory or something.
So I wear his thumbprint every day. That's every day. But then he had these special remix songs for each dog. He has 2 dogs. We have 2 dogs. And I sing it to them every morning, just because, like, when I wake up, his dog Pop-Tart is usually like on the side of the couch where he was at end of life. So I make sure that I sing the ridiculous songs to them every morning. And I mean, we try to see squirrels. Like, we're always on squirrel watch, because that's like, he loved squirrels, And yeah, my whole classroom is squirrel themed now. So I feel like we do that for him, as far as me and maybe like my daughter, because she's in 4th grade. She's in my class too for science. So we just try and keep everything squirrely around here.
That's
like
cool.
All the time. Yeah.
Like squirrels, like specifically just squirrels, or do you include chipmunks too?
He was just a squirrel. He liked squirrels because he said that they could get themselves out of sticky situations.
I see that. I see it. Okay. My grandfather, he has like a bunch of squirrels that like peek up at his front porch. So he puts like a bunch of nuts out there to keep them there. And one time we were pulling in and there was like 4. And my mom, she screamed because, like, one of them, like, tried to, like, jump on her ankle or something like that. And I was, like, laughing in the car because I could see her from the car. So that's my only, like, my only thing with squirrels. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there something about him that you hope everyone listening will carry with them? Is there something that he does or something he used to say or something he would stand by that you think
Yeah.
would help?
Yeah. His T-shirt that he made with the Griffin Project, it was a squirrel that said "Be kind." He really stood by that. Like, he really was not a mean kid at all. Like, at all. He did not like judgy people just because, like, he couldn't understand why somebody would take time out of their day to make somebody feel bad. He couldn't get that. And so till the end, I mean, there were days he had bad days and he was a little snappy with the nurses, but he always tried to be polite. Like, he honestly just living with kindness. Like, Jaxson was kindness, like the poster kid for that, and living happy. I mean, to be dying and still be happy and find joy in things, like, it makes you realize how much we complain about for no reason. You know what I mean? So if anything, I would just choose to live like Jax and be happy all the time and be kind.
My English teacher would say something at the end of each day last year in English sophomore year. She would always be like, "Okay, guys, have a great day. Be kind and be brave." And I think that's like the only thing I remember from her class. Like, I think I only remember that out of all the lectures she gave us. So yeah, definitely being kind over everything is something, like, I think it stays with kids too. Like, it's one of the first things that you, like, pick up on, like, oh, you have to be nice to everyone, you have to share your toys, you have to be kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how old was Jaxson when he passed away?
He was 11.
He was 11 years old? Wow.
Yeah.
I was 11 years old when I was first diagnosed, so I can't... Wow. I mean, you can just tell, because kids that young shouldn't have to be that brave at all. They shouldn't have to go through that. And I apologize once again for your loss. That is something unimaginable, and I don't wish that upon any mother, on any father, on any sibling, anyone. And
Thank you.
I can only imagine the strength that you carry with you every day.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being vulnerable with me today and for coming on and sharing your story, because it's not something that you had to do. It's something I asked you to do, and you 100%, the first thing you said was, I'll do it, let's go. And I think that shocked me a lot, because I was expecting questions, I was expecting links, and I was totally ready to give it. I had, like, a notes app, like, already filled with, like, a paragraph of my credibility as a 16-year-old to interview you. But I think that there's something just so, like, I don't know what the word is, like jaw-droppingly, like, extraordinary and inspiring that you allow yourself to be vulnerable for, what is it, like 200,000 followers on Instagram, and then my very amateur podcast. Like, I just want you to know that I think you're an amazing mom, number one, and number two, you're an amazing human being that I just met. So I have two things for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, no, it was easy. As soon as you were like, I had osteosarcoma too, like, I can see that this is how you're making change, and I wanted to be a part of it.
Thank you
so
much.
Thank you for including me in that.
And thank you for letting me share Jaxson's story. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thank you.
But yeah, and that is time with me today, because I don't pay for Google Meet to do over an hour. And we hit exactly an hour, so this might be my longest episode yet. So thank you very much for hitting this milestone with me. And that is it for my viewers. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you again for helping raise awareness for childhood cancer this month in September. I'm your host again, Anaya, and this is Sickening the Podcast. You can watch us on YouTube and listen to us on Spotify. And again, this is my wonderful guest with us this week, Maggie. Thank you again, Maggie, for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
And have a great night,
Have a good
Maggie.
night.
Bye.